The sun had not yet cleared the horizon when I left the manor. The morning air was sharp, carrying the scent of damp earth and the distant smoke of the capital's industry. I didn't take the carriage. I needed to move unnoticed. I arrived at the iron quarter just as the first hammers began to strike. Brog's workshop was a chaotic symphony of steam and grinding gears. He was waiting for me, wiping grease from his thick, calloused hands. "Good morning, Brog," I said, stepping over a pile of scrap. "Mornin', lad," the dwarf grunted, his eyes gleaming with pride. "You're just in time. I've finished it. It was a nightmare to calibrate, but she's a beauty." He pulled a heavy tarp off a workbench. Resting there was a weapon that didn't belong in this world. It was a heavy, shoulder-mounted launcher, constructed from blackened dwarven steel and etched with glowing blue power lines. "The Seeker Launcher," Brog announced, "as per your designs. It fires condensed mana orbs that lock on to the heat and mana signatures of a target. Once it's fired, there is no running away. And more importantly," he pressed a mechanical latch. With a series of satisfying clicks and whirs, the massive weapon folded in on itself, contracting and shrinking until it was no larger than a small metal briefcase. "It can be hidden easily," I noted, picking it up. It was heavy, but the Aegis suit beneath my coat would compensate for the weight. "You've outdone yourself, Brog. This is a masterpiece of engineering." "It was your blueprints, Aric," Brog said, lighting an unlit cigar. "I just provided the hands. So, what's next? You look like a man with more ideas than time." I pulled a fresh roll of parchment from my coat and laid it on the table. It was a complex schematic for something much larger, something involving automated joints and independent power cores. "Here is the next phase," I said. "Study it. Start sourcing the materials. I will be away for a few days on a family mission, but when I return, I want to see the prototype." Brog looked at the drawings, his eyes widening. "By the ancestors, this is a revolution. I'll get to work immediately." I left the workshop and returned to the manor, the compact launcher hidden beneath my coat. I needed to prepare for the Valorian mission, but the peace of the morning was shattered the moment I entered my study. Sebastian was waiting for me. His face was paler than usual, his posture stiff with anxiety. "Sir, I have grave news," Sebastian said without preamble. "The prince?" I asked, setting the briefcase on my desk. "Yes, Valerius knows. His informants have confirmed that the unrest in the silver mines was our doing. He knows we leaked the embezzlement records to the Miners' Guild." I narrowed my eyes. "How? My father's network was supposed to be secure." "The assassin from the other night, sir, the one you let go to send a message. He didn't make it back to the guild. The prince's personal guard intercepted him. Under torture, he spoke. He died shortly after." I felt a cold chill. I had underestimated the prince's desperation. Narcissists don't just get angry, they become rabid when their gold is threatened. "I see," I said, my voice turning to ice. "So the wolf has found the scent." "Sir, if I may offer counsel," Sebastian stepped forward, his voice pleading. "Tell Lady Ilara, the prince cannot touch you if she intervenes. Not even the king would dare to oppose the hero of the border if she stands by your side." "Forget it," I snapped. "It's impossible. I won't use her as a shield." "Sir, you are being incredibly stubborn," Sebastian noted, his frustration breaking through. "I saw what happened during the chess match. I saw how you looked at her, and I saw how she looked at you." He paused, then looked at me with an expression I hadn't seen before. It wasn't the look of a butler. It was the look of a father. "Aric," he said softly. I flinched. He used my name. "My son," I continued. "I have served this house for decades. I served your grandfather and Ilara's grandfather. For years, I watched Ilara grow cold, and I watched you drown in a bottle of wine. I watched two families collapse into misery." He walked closer, his eyes searching mine. "But these last 4 months, everything has changed. I see a man who is confident, intelligent, and brave. I see a man who faces the Crown Prince without fear. Ilara sees it too. She is trying to change, Aric. She is reaching out. Why won't you give this a chance? You lose nothing by letting her help you." I looked at Sebastian, and for a moment, the weight of his words almost broke my resolve. I wanted to tell him the truth. I wanted to tell him that I wasn't the son he thought I was. I was a stranger from another world who just wanted to find his way back to a place where logic ruled and magic didn't. "Sebastian," I said, my voice dropping, "we have a pact. You gave me your word to help me divorce Ilara. In return, I'm leaving her everything, this manor, the gold, and the title." Sebastian looked at me for a long moment before answering. "That is true, sir. But when we made that deal, you were an alcoholic wreck. You weren't even capable of managing your own body. But now you have changed. My son, your eyes have transformed during these last 4 months. You are even capable of confronting the Crown Prince without fear. The old Aric could never have done that." "That's because I'm a different person from another world," I thought to myself. "Sebastian," I said out loud, "I will ask you the same question I asked before our pact. Do you truly think a man like me deserves to be at Ilara's side?" Sebastian remained silent for a heartbeat, remembering the rare, genuine smile on Ilara's face during our chess match. "My answer is, it is Ilara who must decide that." "What? Sebastian, you're forgetting that our grandfathers arranged this. This was a prepared marriage. It wasn't Ilara who chose this." "Yes, that is true, sir. Regarding our pact, I will continue to help you and do my best for your objectives. But if I see that Ilara wants to stay at your side, not because of her grandfather, but because she truly wishes it, then I will stand by her side, just as I did yesterday." I scoffed, turning away. "That is impossible. She only stays because of a dead man's oath. Do what you want, but I am certain of one thing. It is impossible for a woman like her to love a man like me, or to ever see me as her true husband. Now, leave me. I need to prepare for the mission, and don't say a word to her about the prince. If he moves against me while she is here, I'll handle it. If I can't handle a spoiled prince, I'll never survive the eastern scrublands." "As you wish, my lord," Sebastian sighed, bowing deeply. "And the prince?" "Leave him for now. He won't strike while Ilara is in the manor. He's a coward at heart. He'll wait for me to be alone." I spent the rest of the day and the night in my workshop, checking every bolt on the Aegis suit and calibrating the seeker launcher. Ilara didn't disturb me. She knew I was preparing for my first real duty to the family. The next morning, as I prepared to board the carriage for the Valorian castle, Ilara was waiting by the front door. She wasn't in her battle armor, but in a simple, elegant traveling dress. "I've come to see you off," she said, her voice surprisingly soft. "It's your first mission. I wanted to encourage you." I looked at her, feeling that strange heat in my face again. I quickly masked it with a shrug. "What mission? I'm just a spectator. A mana null like me can't do anything in a real fight. I'll just be watching the top 5 do the work." Ilara smiled, a small, knowing smile. "Good luck, anyway, Aric." "Thank you. Goodbye, Ilara." I stepped into the carriage where Sebastian was waiting. The wheels began to turn, taking me away from the only person who might actually care if I came back alive. The architect was going to war, but as the manor disappeared into the distance, I couldn't help but feel that the most dangerous battle wasn't with monsters, but with the people waiting for me at the end of the road.